Hey, everybody, welcome to the Soccer Sharps, a soccer betting podcast where we return for domestic league action. And if this looks a little different to you, if you're watching this, it's because we're remote, we're traveling. So it's going to be a bit of an a la carte show, but we've got all the plays from the EPL, the Bundesliga, the Serie A, La Liga, and even the Copa Libertadores final. So if you're into that, stick around, baby. Here we go. Jordan, we are live on Friday, Black Friday as it's called here in the States, to get people to shop for things. I wish there were Black Friday deals for our gambling needs. But Jordan, how you doing on this fine Friday?
Well, Deb, some of the books do give us some specials. There are some profit boosts and things of that nature that you can find for Black Friday. But yeah, Deb, I'm doing okay. Look, quick emergency pod here, right? We didn't get our regularly scheduled programming up for the listeners because, listen, it was the holiday here in the States, and you and I are of the partying persuasion. So we went hard. We didn't have time. My face is still puffy, and it's about 2:15 p.m. here in Arizona. But yeah, Dev, we got plays. We wouldn't be us if we didn't have plays for the weekend. You're finally in a betting state. You're loving that, Dev.
Oh, yeah.
We got
Get a little more creative with the bets here. All kinds of weird same game parlays.
Sure. We're just going to go kind of rapid fire here and give out our plays, essentially. This won't be like our typical shows. Probably get it wrapped up fairly quickly here.
Yeah, if you guys are watching this, we apologize. We're not doing the graphics. It's just going to be us talking. If you are just listening to this, then you won't notice, and it'll be great. But, Jordan, let's dive into this thing. And if you guys are watching along...
I got something funny here in our Discord, just kind of a little shade from our guy, Jean-Pierre. Shout out to South Africa. We've got listeners all over the globe here at the Soccer Sharps. This is what we do, a global family. Jean-Pierre telling us that he missed our regularly scheduled programming because normally every Friday afternoon after a long week, I sit out on my porch, switch you guys on, and just breathe for a bit. I've got my pen in hand. I jot down the bets you give me, and then I work out my own. It's become almost a ritual. Calm air, weekend starting, everything's settling. Today, that whole rhythm got disturbed.
Wow.
We apologize, Jean-Pierre.
Sorry to disappoint you, Jean-Pierre, out down there in South Africa. But we're getting the bets to you now, so hopefully you can do that ritual just be a little bit later than usual. Bob D in the chat watching us live, love to see it. He says nothing better than a Thanksgiving hangover. You're telling me, Bob, I've got a 6% beer I'm now drinking at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so it tells you what kind of state we're in. But Jordan, let's get started because I think we're going to have quite a few matches just to cover here, and once again, we are just going to be going sort of rapid fire, so let's just start this off. The first play I've got, George, from the EPL is Everton versus Newcastle United. Okay. You keeping anything on that game?
I do have something for that game, Deb. Tell me what you got.
Well, this one's lined as a pick, and the total is set at 2.5. And, George, for this one, I'm going to play that pick market. I'm going to go with Everton on the pick. They're playing at home here in the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Newcastle playing that midweek. I've been talking about it in the past few pods. I don't think they have the depth to keep this going. Everton putting together some nice results, and I think they're quite good at home. I would also maybe look at the under here, but give me the pick here. It'll push out in the event of a draw or Everton to win. Minus 105, George. That's what I got.
Well, Dev, make that a 2-unit play for us because I'm on the same thing.
Whoa.
Everton, draw no bet. Look, Newcastle, we know that they can put in spirited performances at home at St. James's Park. We saw that recently with Newcastle hosting Manchester City. They got the 3 points there. But then we see that their home road splits are completely different. They go on the road in the midweek to Marseille and lose that one after having previously lost their last away game. So I think Everton can get something out of this. If they do get a draw, we push out. But give me the Everton side. So Everton draw no bet, minus 105 right there with you.
Yeah, Jordan, head-to-heads, Everton are unbeaten against Newcastle in their last 4 head-to-heads. One little thing I noticed that I want to mention here is the prices on the book I'm looking at are different if you go from the Asian handicap, which has the pick, the 0.0 on the Asian handicap, versus just taking the draw no bet market, or tie no bet, they call it here. So the Asian line was a little bit better, and
The reason for
I'm
that is
yeah.
you can't cash out an Asian market bet. You can do an
Oh,
early cash out on a draw no bet market. So something for
interesting,
the listeners
interesting.
to, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, that gives you. I'm playing it on the Asian line. I want the better price,
Same.
Jordan. Next matchup I've got. It's the late game on Saturday. It's Tottenham Hotspur against Fulham. This one, bit of a London derby, Jord. This one sees Tottenham as home favorites of a quarter of a goal. Total is set at 2.5. Jord, Tottenham got boat raced by PSG in the midweek. Fulham playing nothing in the midweek, just waiting for this game. So what do you think about this matchup?
This one's a tough one for me, Dev, a stay away. So in the interest of time, I'll pass it right back to you. What do you got?
Yeah, Jordan, I'm going back to that pick market. I'm going to take Fulham as a pick here. It's plus 130. You could play it on the Asian handicap, get that quarter of a goal, but I just think I'm just not impressed by Tottenham. Look, obviously this is not going to be PSG in Paris. This is a very different contest, but in this one, Christian Romero is suspended. It's going to shake up that back line a little bit. Spurs continue to not be very threatening in front of goal, even though they got a couple against PSG. And they play out of the back, it just gets ugly. These two teams head to head. And that's what the other thing is, the home record is god-awful. No losses for Fulham in 3 straight head-to-heads. And I did want to look at the home form of the expected goal differential table, and Tottenham is bottom 3, only ahead of West Ham and Burnley. Negative 2.54 XG differential in their home games this season. That's not good for a team that's supposed to be top 6, George. So give me Fulham as a pick. If it is a push in the event of a tie, I'll take that. That's fine. Tottenham playing that midweek is similar to Newcastle in the last game we covered. So I'm going to take the road dog here as a pick.
I like it, Dev.
George, you got anything else on Saturday?
I do, actually. I have another play from the Premier League, and it comes from the Brentford-Burnley match.
Okay.
And, not the sexiest of matchups, but I think
well, this one sees, I've got the lines here. This one sees Brentford as home favorites of a goal and a quarter, and the total is set at 2.75. Brentford hosting Burnley here. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I think that's giving too much respect to Brentford. I know that they've been pretty decent this year, but I know Burnley, if you look at a lot of the metrics, a lot of the statistical categories, they are rock bottom. But I do think, given their situation and given the teams that they are able to be competitive against, they've got to be looking at this Brentford match as one that they can maybe get something from. And I just feel like that goal and a quarter is a little too much to be giving Burnley. So I'm going to take that here. You kind of got to hold your nose with this one because Burnley not covering themselves in glory. But again, there's more of a Brentford fade that I just don't think they're a goal and a quarter better than Burnley, even at home here. So going to take Burnley plus 1.25 on the Asian handicap, coming in at minus 122.
Nice, Jordan. All right. So let's just do this chronologically, I think, instead of by leagues here, George. So do you have anything else on Saturday? I do not. Oh, actually, that's not true. I have one.
I've got a couple. I've got one from the Bundesliga and one from La Liga. Do you want to hear those?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, starting in the Bundesliga, we've got Bayern Munich. Actually, you give it to me. Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich.
St. Pauli. There it is.
St. Pauli.
St. Pauli. Yeah, this one, Dev, I thought the both teams to score yes at plus 100 was too good to pass up. I know that Bayern at home are a scary proposition, but they're not exactly watertight. And this St. Pauli team, if nothing else, they have a lot of grit. And as we know, everyone gets up for the Bayern game. Traveling to Bayern, they'd love to play spoiler. Bayern coming off of a bit of a shellacking to Arsenal in the midweek, certainly in the second half. And obviously, they'll want to get right here, but it's a different animal. It's back to the Bundesliga hosting an inferior opponent. They're probably going to get the 3 points and keep on trucking. But I just think St. Pauli can get something from this. And my favorite price is even money. So I'm taking that. Both teams to score yes at even money.
All right, Jordan. Well, we have seen both teams scoring in 5 of the last 6 Bayern Munich games across all competitions. I wish you luck with that one. I stayed away. And then you said you had one from La Liga as well, yeah?
I do, Deb. The Seville Derby, where we have Sevilla hosting Real Betis, whose full name is Real Betis Sevilla Bolompi. Bolompi.
Jordan, you're messing me up. This one's taking place on Sunday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. But go ahead.
Well, that'll be our segue into Sunday. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that Real Betis is in Sevilla. They think Betis might be the city or something like that, kind of like Real Madrid. But no, Real Betis, Sevilla Bolompi. Bolompi, one of the most disgusting words in the world, sounds like a sex act, like a nefarious sex act. You would I gave her a Bolompi, bro.
No way, dude. You Bolompied her? Oh.
Yeah. But yes, that is their full name. They are from Seville, and this is a hotly contested derby. Because of that, Dev, I've gone with a hand ringer play here. I really just wanted to take both teams to score because this often ends 1-1 with just a bunch of yellow cards, and it's pretty gross. Somehow, both teams do get on the score sheet. We don't ever really see this end 0-0. But 1-1 often in play, and sometimes someone nicks it. We get a 2-1. So I've gone to get a better price. You could play both teams to score yes on its own. It's like -134. But I got greedy, Dev, and I tacked on under 4.5 goals. Hard to see this getting to 5 goals. And that's coming
nice
at
price.
plus 115.
Got to be up. Yeah,
plus
that sounds pretty good.
Both teams to score an under 4.5.
All right, not bad. I am staying away from that one, although I do like the uniform matchup. We got stripes all over the field. Jordan, let's move on. We're going back to the Premier League for Sunday matchups, and man, there's some really fun games here. Real quick, do you have anything on Palace United?
I do.
Okay, let's start with that because that's the early game. Boy, I was looking at this one, and I just couldn't figure out how to play it. Crystal Palace hosting Manchester United here, and this one sees Palace as home favorites of 1/4 of a goal. Total is set at 2.75. What do you got, Jordan?
Well, Dev, this one was relatively simple for me. Palace are the better team by pretty much every metric you want to look at in every statistical category. They are ahead of Man United, at least in all the things that matter most to us, right? XG, XGA, shots on target per 90, goals conceded, yada, yada, yada. Whatever you want to look at, this Palace team are just generally better. And they're at home here. Man U, while they have been better this season under Amorim, still a lot of holes, right? And oftentimes when they do get results, they have to do it by coming from behind or just typically conceding, right? And when you're conceding in most games, it's hard to then get a result. So I feel like this Man U team are certainly going to concede here to Palace, and that just makes me like the chances of Palace getting something from the match. I was kind of looking at Palace on the money line, tempted by it, but I decided to take it where it's lined on the Asian handicap, Palace -1/4. If this does end in a draw, I lose half of my stake, but I keep some. So that's the way I decided to play it. Crystal Palace -1/4. On the Asian handicap at -105. I like that price. I think there's every chance they pick up 3 points in this one.
Nice, George. Yeah, we've seen head-to-head streaks. Crystal Palace, no losses in 4 against Manchester United, and also no goals conceded in those 4 matches. So 4 straight clean sheets for Palace against United. Can they turn it around? I was looking at maybe taking an over here. We've seen over 2.5 goals in 8 of the last 10 Manchester United matches. But ultimately, the price wasn't great, and I just read out the head-to-heads with Crystal Palace conceding no goals in 4. Made me nervous. So I wish you luck, Jordan. +125 for Palace on the money line. Not bad. But let's move on to the next matchups here, and the one I'm seeing I've finally got to play for. It's Nottingham Forest against Brighton and Hove Albion. This one is lined as a pick, and the total is set at 2.5. Jordan, I'm sticking with the theme here. I'm going to go with Nottingham Forest as a pick. They are the home team here. I think they're better than Brighton. Brighton, just a Jekyll and Hyde team this year. Never know which Brighton's going to show up. But this Forest team under Sean Dyche is really putting together some results. 3-0 against Liverpool at Anfield is insane. Sean Dyche masterclass. Even though we know Liverpool are sort of slipping right now, they can't find their form, that's an incredible result. They then followed it up with another 3-0 in the Europa League against Malmo during the midweek. So I like them to keep this thing going. If it does end in a draw, I push out. But yeah, Forest as a pick, -103, Jordan. You got anything on this one?
I don't have anything on this one, Dev, but I like the way you're attacking it. As you know, longer term listeners to this show will know that I think Brighton are a bit fraudulent, and I'm always looking for spots to fade them. I think this is a good one, right? As you said, Forest are kind of purring right now. They're at home here. I think this will be competitive, but I could see them edging it.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about Forest is they have a really deep squad. I mean, that was one of the complaints about the team that I think Nuno had before he got sacked. He's like, I have too many players. I can't play all this. I want a smaller squad. But now they're juggling multiple competitions, including Europe. And Sean Dyche seems to have no problem rotating these guys. I like a lot of what they're doing under Dyche, so I'm excited to see them keep this going. A little bit scary that they are coming off that midweek. Same with the Crystal Palace United match we just talked about. They're coming off that midweek against a team playing nothing, having that week to rest. How does that affect them? Something to keep in mind. But Jord, our next matchup, this one near and dear to your heart. It's your West Ham United, if I could say it with my German accent there, against Liverpool, the champions, traveling down to London. This one sees West Ham as home dogs of 3/4 of a goal, and the total is set at a flat 3. Jord, I'll let you take the floor on this one. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, Dev, had I been able to get to the ticket office sooner and place my bet before PSV trucked Liverpool at Anfield in the midweek, I would have been able to play West Ham +1 on the Asian handicap at a regular playable price. I think it was -115 before PSV had their way with this Liverpool team who are just low on confidence right now, can't get anything together. 9 defeats in their last 12 in all competitions. Their worst run in 70 years. Meanwhile, West Ham showing signs of life, right? Signs of improvement under Nuno. They've scored 8 goals in their last 3 matches. That's encouraging. Callum Wilson is in really good form now. It's finally West Ham have a striker that they can kind of depend on. Obviously, he's a little long in the tooth, but he's motivated. His deal at West Ham is highly incentivized for him to score goals. He makes more money the more goals he scores. He's also chasing 100 Premier League goals. So he's motivated. He's got 92 in his career. So he's 8 away from that. Can he do it this season? I think he can if he stays healthy. So you maybe look at your Callum Wilson props in this one. Shot on target, -130. I really like that. And anytime goal scorer, +270. That's too big for a guy that had a brace in his last game and scored in the game before that. So this Liverpool team, as I said, low on confidence. Certainly see them conceding in this one, but it's Liverpool. Their backs are against the wall. They have a good record at the London Stadium. I do see them scoring as well, Dev. So the way I decided to play this, since I couldn't get the full +1 on the irons, is both teams to score and over 2.5 coming in at -120.
Well, make it 2 units, Jord, because I'm lockstep with you on that one. We have seen over 2.5 goals in 7 straight head-to-head meetings between these two. Both teams have scored in 6 of those 7 head-to-head meetings. Over 2.5 goals across all comps for Liverpool, 8 of the last 10. They can't keep anybody out right now at the back. Look, they're going on the road here, so maybe they play it a little bit tighter, but they just don't have the horses for it. And Arne Slot, he needs to score goals. They got to get 3 points here. He's going to get sacked. If they lose this game, that you almost have to fire him, right? If you're Liverpool.
It's certainly getting there, Dev. If you were in a vacuum here, any manager that's lost 9 of his last 12 is going to be under pressure. And that's, that's not even talking about a team that spent like £1 billion for the guys. So,
yeah, really interesting how poor it's gone for them here. You mentioned 9 of the last 12 outright losses for Liverpool. If you got a little pizza money, you want to throw something on there, take a look at West Ham on the money line, +310.
I thought you were going to say sprinkle a little money on Liverpool to be relegated.
Oh, no, I don't think it'll get that bad for him. That would be insane.
That would be hilarious. But Dev, actually got to toot my own horn here and say that I faded slot at the beginning of the season. I put my money where my mouths are. I took Liverpool under 79.5 points as a future. And so I'm loving this bad run of form right now. Dev, we cut out a little bit there for a minute with the Wi-Fi. Did you say you had a play in this game? Because I didn't hear it if you did.
I told you it's 2 units, Jordan. We got the same play. Both teams score and over 2.5. Best price I saw was -120. I'd shop around for that. You might be able to get better. Yeah. Jordan, well, there's only one game left in the Premier League this weekend, and it's Chelsea against the Arsenal. This one, a London derby with a lot at stake here, Jordan. These two teams, 1 and 2 in the table. Arsenal on 29 points, Chelsea on 23 points. Chelsea, impressive shutout victory against Barcelona in the midweek. Boy, that one just killed everybody's parlays. No, both teams to score under 3.5 goals. I mean, 0 goals for Barcelona. Awful. We'll get to that in our recap show later. Arsenal also in a very impressive victory against Bayern Munich, and now they turn their attention to this domestic league tie, and this one sees Chelsea as home dogs of 1/4 of a goal, plus 0.25, and the total is set at 2.5. What do you got for this one, Jordan?
Well, Deb, the first thing I want to say is the way you said Chelsea reminded me that we do have a review that came to us on Apple Podcasts, but we're going to save it for our next proper show. Just wanted to let Montmand know that we did get your review and we will read that out soon.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Dev, for this one, I just went with the draw, right? And maybe that's because I want to see a tighter title race. And I'm just hoping that Arsenal just don't get the 3 points and that thing's pretty much over. Obviously, ton of matches left to play. Anything can happen. We know Arsenal love to bottle a title campaign. So it's not necessarily true that they'll run away with it if they do get the 3 points. But I'd like to see Chelsea get something out of this. It's always fun when first meets second in the table, especially before the Christmas period. So I think this one could be fun, but I think there's every chance that because of everything at stake, it could just peter out into a stalemate. And we've seen that. The last 2 meetings at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League between these two did end all square. And I think that could happen again here. Just reading the tea leaves, looking at the lines, I'm not sure I'd want to take either team on the money line. The spread seems fair enough, but just looking at it, it screams 1-1 draw to me. I'm going to go with the draw at a robust plus 225. Don't often do that, but I can't split them, Dev.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jordan. Every time I want to fade Chelsea, they embarrass me. Every time I fade Arsenal, they embarrass me. I'm not touching a side on this one. 3 straight wins across all comps for Chelsea. No losses in 16 matches across all comps for the Arsenal. So they're just really, really good. I mean, look, they were my pick to win this thing. If they can get 3 points out of this match, 9 points clear at the top is pretty daunting. So we will see how it ends up. But for me, it's just looking at the totals. And the way this is a lineup checker, right? You got to come in, you got to see what is Chelsea doing here. One thing I'll give myself, even though I got the Barcelona-Chelsea game completely wrong on the last show, I did pretty much nail what Chelsea's lineup was going to be. I was like, this is what he's going to do. He's going to have Estevao, Neto, Garnacho, all those guys playing up front, which is what they did. And they dominated. Are they going to do the same against Arsenal? Hard to tell. What's Arteta going to do? Gabriel's out for this, best defender in the world right now, for my money. So how does this match shape up? I'm not quite sure, but I think with everything at stake, we talk about Big Six matchups, especially when it's 1 and 2 in the table, you got to look at an under. You could play just the under 2.5 here, absolutely reasonable price. But I kind of want to get a little tricky with it. I'm going to cut the game in half, take the first half under 1 goal. It's -111 on the Asian handicap there. So first half under 1. If there is 1 goal scored, I can push out. No goals scored, we'll cash it. Another way to look at it would be the first half draw, plus 120. I looked at that as well. You've got the full game draw, plus 225, which is a really nice price. So I'll, for the sake of differentiation of our plays, Jordan, I'm going to go first half under 1, -111. And watch, it'll end, first half will end 1-1, and that'll be the game's end as well, just to mess with me. But we'll see. I think this could be 0-0 halftime, so that's why I'm going to go with the first half under 1.
Love it, Deb. Love it.
Jord, that wraps up all the Prem games, but we do have a Serie. And this one, another big game here. It's Roma against Napoli. And let's take a look here. Roma, top of the table right now on 27 points. Napoli on their heels with 25. Everything to play for in this one, George. Super low total in this. It is set at a flat 2 and lined as a pick. So what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, Deb, the total's too low. Anytime, look, we often see under 2.25 in Serie A matches, and often when they do drop it to the flat 2, I just take the over. Right, I'm going to push out if there are 2 goals and it's a 1-1 or something. But I just think, look, Roma, pretty much all of their games have gone under, right? Every game this season's gone under 4.5. I think 9 of them have gone under 3.5, and 8 of them have gone under 2.5. So you get why the total is low, especially when you bring in the situation, 1 and 2 in the table, like we just talked about with the last match. But a flat 2 is just too hard to pass up when, look, Roma lost Manu Kone in the midweek during a UEFA competition. So that's huge for them. He's their ball stopper. He's winning the ball in midfield, causing turnovers. I think that could be a problem against this Napoli team who, under Conte, can be pretty negative on the road, especially in a big game. But if they've got space to play through and you've got these perennial juggernauts of the Italian game, I could just see this opening up. If 1 goal goes in, there's every chance you get to 2 goals. I can push on the 2. And we've seen both of these teams, actually not both of them, but Napoli certainly get dragged into high-scoring affairs once we get an early goal or something like that. So can some chaos ball come out of this one? I'm hoping so. I'm just going to play over 2, and that's coming in at, let me give you the price. I got that at -111, basically the -110, but it's -111 on this book that we use. So, yeah, give me the over 2 on the Asian total.
Wow, Jordan, interesting zag. I like where you're going with it. These two teams, Rome, 4 straight wins across all comps. Napoli under 2.5 goals, 5 of their last 6 across all comps. You can tell why the total is so low, right? So I'm going to do a similar kind of thing. It's not exactly Oppo you, but I'm going to go halftime, correct score 0-0 at +137. No goals first half. I think this is going to be a disgusting match. There's no chance I'm putting this on TV. It's going to be slow, methodical, boring, and I'm still going to bet on it. I just won't be watching. So halftime, correct score 0-0. I think it's good value, +137, because I think the most likely outcome for the halftime is going to be no goals. If there is one, then, you lose the bet. But taking a bit of a swing with the +137 there, Jordan.
Excellent analysis, Deb. I love it.
Yeah, very astute, very sharp by me. So, Jord, that wraps up my European plays. Do you have anything else in Europe?
I'm done, baby. That's it for me.
All right. Well, we're going to take a little dip over. This one is on Saturday, so could have given it out. But it's the Copa Libertadores, the final, Jord. It's the South American Champions League final equivalent, and it sees Palmeiras against Flamengo, 2 teams we know from the Club World Cup. And these 2 teams meeting, it is a pick, and it is under 2 goals, or over under 2 goals, similar to that Italy match we just covered. When these 2 teams meet head-to-head, we've seen under 2.5 in 5 of the last 6. These 2 teams know each other well. They're 1 and 2 in the Brazilian table, and now they're meeting in the continental competition final, winner take all. So Flamengo, the much better team, in my opinion. No losses against Palmeiras in 3 straight. And I mentioned the totals going under there. With everything on the line in this one, you gotta like that under 2. I could see this being 1-0 at the end of full time, but I'm going to be a little bit safer. I'm going to take Flamengo to lift the trophy, Jord. I think are the better team, have a nice record against Palmeiras. To lift the trophy is not a good enough price. Minus 163 for Flamengo to lift in case this does go to penalties. So I'm going to take that, but you got to parlay it with something. So I'm going to add under 3.5 for the full-time whistle. And that comes out at minus 110. I'm happy with it. If you don't like betting outside of Europe, stay away from this one. But it should be a lot of fun either way. These teams knowing each other well and a big trophy to play for. So I want to get some action on it, Jordan. That's where I'm going. Flamengo to lift the trophy with under 3.5 in the match at minus 110.
I love it, Dev. I wish you luck. I know nothing about it. You can watch this game on Paramount Plus in the United States. Is that right?
That's a good question. I do not know.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
Okay.
People will find it if they want to watch it.
Well, Jordan, that's going to do it for us. But before we get out of here, there's something we got to do.
We do indeed, Dev. It's one thing to talk about these matches. It's quite another to put our money where our mouths are and pay the bookie.
Chuck, I'm going to tell you something. You have that fucking 200 in my hands tomorrow. If you ain't got the 200 in my fucking hands tomorrow, I'll break every fucking bone in your body.
All right, once again, for our watchers looking at this video, we do not have the graphics up, so I'm just going to read out the plays. I've got Everton as a pick, minus 105. Fulham as a pick, plus 130. Forest as a pick, minus 103. West Ham, Liverpool, both teams to score an over 2.5 at minus 120. Chelsea, Arsenal, first half under 1 at minus 111. Roma, Napoli, halftime correct score 0-0, plus 137. And the Libertadores final, Flamengo to lift the trophy, parlayed with under 3.5 in the match at minus 110.
Right on, Dev. And I've got Burnley plus 1.25 Asian handicap at minus 122. I've also got Everton 0.0 on the Asian handicap coming in at minus 105. That's the pick. Crystal Palace minus 0.25 on the Asian handicap at minus 105. I've also got West Ham and Liverpool, both teams to score an over 2.5, minus 120. Do jump into our Discord to see additional plays because I can guarantee you I'm going to have some stuff on Callum Wilson there, shot on target, anytime goal scorer, etc. In Chelsea, Arsenal, I have the outright draw at plus 225. In the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich hosting St. Pauli, both teams to score yes at even money. In the Seville derby, Sevilla hosting Real Betis Balompié, both teams to score and under 4.5 goals in the match at plus 115. Love that. In Serie A, Roma hosting Napoli. I'm going over 2 on the Asian total at minus 111.
Right on, Jordan. Well, that's going to do it for us. If you guys are watching or listening, please give us a like, a follow, a subscribe. We appreciate it. If you want to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or any podcast app and you write it out, we will read it on the show for you. And it also gives you great karma for your bets. So throw a like on this video if you're watching or on wherever you're listening. We do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Jordan, any last words for the people?
Yeah, I echo your gratitude and say thank you to everyone who checks this out and spreads the word, sharing it to their friends and family at this festive period. But also, as I mentioned before, find the link to our Discord server. It's in the description of this, wherever you're listening or watching, and jump in. It's free to join. It's not one of those pay ones. Just come talk soccer and bets. We will have more plays in there, and we got a lot of sharp listeners to this show. So you got a lot of other plays from your fellow audience. And also, if you're curious about our success, do find the links to our spreadsheets. That's also in the description anywhere. We've been doing this show for about 5 seasons now. It's mostly been profitable. This season we're down currently, but look, we got plenty of time to turn it around. So you can find all of that there. We're completely transparent and tracked. And best of luck with all of your bets this weekend. Please bet responsibly. There are too many games to throw it all away in one weekend.
Right on, Jordan. And we may be back Monday. There's a midweek Premier League.
Oh, yeah. We'll be back.
Oh, we'll be back. So we'll see you guys on Monday. Thank you so much. Best of luck this weekend. Let's make some money.
Let's make some money.
Martial.